Hello, my love. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Arouse Podcast. And today is a doozy because I'm giving you the insider scoop mistake that couples make with public sex. So are we ready? Let's dive right in. Warning, the following presentation is intended for mature audiences. It includes stigma topics like sex, addictions, mental illness, adult dialogue, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Before I get into today's episode, my Confident AF card deck and journal are now available for pre-order. The Confident AF card deck is an inspiring 45 card deck offering guidance to anchor into your deepest desires so you can awaken your inner goddess and feel confident AF. The Confident AF journal is complementary to the card deck, so it holds space for you to tap into your intuition even further and reveal the wisdom from the goddess within you with this inspiring journal. Plus, those 2 physical products that will be mailed to you, you get 5 bonuses, including the life-changing magic of journaling, the biggest mistakes women make when trying to achieve their dream life, the meditative path to change your life, how to get shit done, and the Confident AF Founders Facebook group, which is exclusive to you when you purchase the first edition, first printing of the Confident AF card deck and journal. There is over $800 worth of products and courses for only $55, and you can go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/confident bundle, and that link will take you right to pre-order the Confident AF card deck and journal. Now it's time to get into all the sexy details. If you have been thinking about trying public sex but don't know where to start, then this episode is totally for you because it can be a lot of fun, but you don't want to make these mistakes. Before I get into all the mistakes that I've made, I just want to clear something up that if you think that public sex is having sex in front of people at like a party or whatever, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. Those are a little bit different. Those are lifestyle and orgies for particular people, and you can find communities that are into that if that's something that you're interested in. But today I'm just going to be talking about having sex outside of your house. It's going to be inside vehicles. So this episode is super fun and lighthearted. I had to suffer through all these mistakes so you don't have to. I remember the very first time that I wanted to have sex in a vehicle, didn't really think it through. So driving around in my vehicle, and for the person that was with me, he had never really done it either. We didn't know what we were doing, so we're driving around. We finally find a spot and park. We're getting ready, throwing shit into the back of the truck, so the box of the truck or the bed of the truck. Suddenly there's a bunch of cars that drive past. Thank God we were not naked. We were not doing anything. There was no cops. I'm very grateful that I was not completely naked. There is a thing called an indecent exposure ticket that a cop will give you. That completely killed the mood. I was embarrassed as fuck. I packed everything up with him and we left. I dropped him back off at his house. I went back home and that was the end of it. That was probably the biggest mistake, is we did not do our research. We just tried to pick a spot in the moment and that was completely wrong. Another time that I finally had the courage to try this again, I was with the same guy and we went to a parking garage. So we tried to pick a spot that wasn't as busy, but we had only come in one vehicle. We tried to park it in a way that would hide or, cover us. I honestly am not completely sure how many people saw us. I can probably guarantee at least one person did, because when we got out of the vehicle, I looked out and I was like, oh, people could have totally seen in here when we were fooling around. And thank God, if someone did call the cops, they didn't get there in time because we had left pretty quickly after I had realized that someone very well could have seen inside there and figured out what we were doing. But really, who wants to get a ticket for having sex in public? No one. So we're going to completely avoid that 100%. And that's mistake number 2, is bring 2 vehicles. So you have one that is technically behind the other and you can use the other vehicle to cover and yields people from seeing in the other vehicle when you're actually fooling around. The more cover that you have, it's just better so people aren't catching on as easily. Another story I have is a fun experience I had during winter time. We had found a very secluded spot in the country, but it was cold out. We had turned off the truck truck, not realizing how cold it was outside. And when we finished, he had to get out and put his clothes back on. I had to get out as well. We both forgot our shoes and we had taken off our socks as well. So we're trying to jump back in the truck with our feet freezing and trying to warm up our feet, trying to start the truck, warm ourselves up. Moral of the story, if you're doing it in winter and it's outside, keep your vehicle running. If you're not doing it for more than, 15 minutes, because obviously we don't want to be wasting fuel and make sure to not get out of your vehicle if there is snow on the ground and you do not have your shoes on. Be smarter about it than I was. I just talked about seasons and being careful about weather. We're going to be talking about time of day as well, especially since depending what time of the year that you're doing this, the days could be longer or shorter. So be very wary about, there's nothing worse than being horny and trying to get laid in the middle of the day and getting caught because people can see you. If you're doing it later in the day, depending on how long or short the days are, then doing it after the sun has gone down, it's pretty dark out, you're less likely to get caught because people can't see as well. You don't want to have any headlights shining on you to expose any intimate parts, I'm just gonna say. So then also be careful about how you park and where you park so that if someone does drive by, even if it's a random car, it's a very quiet street or area that you're in, that you are not parking your vehicle in a way that if someone turns or their headlights can shine on your vehicle, that they're going to see you and this person that you're with hooking up. Listen to me, I've made all of these mistakes. Seriously, do not make the same mistakes that I did. I did all these so that you don't have to, and you can make public sex so much more fun than I did in the first few times that I tried until I became a seasoned expert in public sex in vehicles. Make sure to write down all these mistakes that I have made so that you don't have to make them yourself, and you can make public sex that much more fun for you and the person that you're with. Plus, you're not going to have as much anxiety or worry about getting caught because I've given you how many mistakes on to avoid for getting caught with public sex. And hey, don't forget to pre-order the Confident AF card deck and journal, plus those 5 bonuses worth over $800 at bit.ly/confident bundle. So once again, that's bit.ly/confident bundle. Pre-order yours now. I will see you next time.